studio microphone. Before you judge me, hit that follow button, because by the end of this story, you'll understand exactly why I did what I did. My name is Celeste Monroe, I'm 41 years old, and 3 days ago, I thought I had a perfectly good marriage. Today, I'm standing in the middle of Chicago O'Hare Airport, watching my husband kiss another woman like he's auditioning for a romance movie. Let me rewind for a second. It's Tuesday, November 12th, around 7 p.m. I've just flown in from New York, where I spent 3 exhausting days running an elite wedding expo. I'm running on caffeine, adrenaline, and the hope of seeing my husband, Dr. Adrian Monroe, waiting for me with maybe a coffee, if I'm lucky. Instead, I see something else. He's standing near Terminal 2, holding a bright pink poster that says, "Welcome home, beautiful red heart," with little red hearts drawn all around it. Now, that might sound sweet to you, but here's the thing. In 14 years of marriage, Adrian has never done something like this. This is a man who once told me flowers were a waste of money because they die. A man who gifted me a Costco membership for our 10th anniversary because it was practical. So, when I see him holding a handmade sign and a huge bouquet of pink peonies, my favorite flowers, by the way, which I've mentioned hundreds of times, I freeze. It doesn't add up. Then I notice something else. He's dressed up. Not his usual hospital scrubs or golf polo, but the navy cashmere sweater I bought him last Christmas, the one he said made him look too fancy. And his hair, styled. As in, actually styled. My husband, the man who considers running his hand through his hair a full grooming routine, used product. Something's off. That's when I see her. She comes running through the crowd like a movie scene, long dark hair, bright red lipstick, carrying a designer tote bag, wearing a dress so tight it screams I dressed for someone. And then, in the middle of O'Hare, she jumps into my husband's arms. He drops the sign. He catches her. She wraps her legs around him while laughing, and he spins her around like they're the only people in the world. My world stops. For a second, I just stand there, half hidden behind a family waiting for their luggage, clutching my phone so hard it hurts. Adrian, my husband, my partner, the man I built a life with, is holding another woman like I never existed. And then they kiss. Not a polite kiss. Not a mistake. A movie trailer kind of kiss. The kind that makes old couples blush and teenagers cheer. I should cry. That's what I always imagined I'd do if I caught him cheating. But I don't. Instead, something inside me clicks, like a lock opening. I start laughing. Quietly at first. Because this is absurd. Then my event planner brain kicks in. See, I built Monroe Events into Chicago's top luxury planning company. I've created weddings for billionaires, galas for mayors, charity balls for CEOs. I live and breathe precision. And in this moment, watching my husband kiss his pharmaceutical rep, I'm already planning something new. Not a wedding. Not a gala. A divorce party. But first, I gather evidence. I step to the side, pretending to scroll on my phone. My camera app is open. Click. A photo of Adrian holding her hand. Click. One of them walking to the parking garage. Click. Him loading her luggage into our car, my silver BMW X5, the one I make half the payments on. Click. Her Tiffany shopping bag swinging from her wrist. Click. A close shot of them kissing again, against the driver's door this time. My husband, Dr. Adrian Monroe, doesn't even look around. Why would he? He thinks I'm still in New York. My flight home isn't supposed to land until tomorrow. When they finally drive away, I just stand there in the cold Chicago air, watching his taillights disappear. And then, I laugh again. Not sad laughter. Not hysterical laughter. The kind that comes from realization. Because Adrian has made the same mistake every cheater makes, he underestimated his wife. He thinks I'm just the woman who handles his dinner parties, who keeps his calendar full and his dry cleaning ready. He doesn't know that I'm the woman who built a business from nothing. Who negotiates with million-dollar clients? Who can manage 50 vendors, 2 bridezillas, and a blackout in a ballroom, without breaking a sweat? Adrian Monroe has no idea who he's dealing with. I get into my car, my heart pounding but my mind sharper than it's ever been. Instead of driving home, I head to my office downtown. Because while Adrian is busy playing house with Talia Brooks, oh yes, I recognize her now, his pharmaceutical rep from those conference dinners, I'm about to start something he won't see coming. I park behind my office building, unlock the door, and flip on the lights. The space feels colder tonight. The framed photos of me and Adrian at charity galas look like props from another life. I pour myself a cup of stale coffee and open my laptop. Time to see what my husband's been hiding. The first clue is easy to find. Our joint credit card has charges from places we've never been together. A $270 dinner at Alinea on a random Tuesday. A $600 charge at Thompson Hotel. $2,842 at Tiffany & Company, dated 2 weeks ago. That's when I remember the little blue bag in her hand. I scroll further. There are Venmo transfers too. Small amounts, a few hundred here, a few hundred there, but over the past year, it adds up to nearly $20,000. All sent to someone named TB. Talia Brooks. I take screenshots of everything, organizing them into folders like I would for an event. Bank statements. Hotel receipts. Restaurant bills. Photos. Videos. Every lie, every secret, all neatly documented. Then, I open his iCloud account. I've known Adrian's password for years. He uses the same one for everything, his birthday plus MD. 30 seconds later, I'm inside his photo stream. And what I see makes my blood boil. There they are. Adrian and Talia. At restaurants. At the art museum. At a cabin in Lake Geneva. Selfies of them smiling, toasting champagne, wrapped in blankets that I bought. And then, screenshots of texts with his college friend, Rick Tanner. Adrian, finally doing it after New Year's. Don't want to ruin the holidays for Celeste. Rick, you're too soft, man. She'll be fine. Adrian, Talia's ready. Lease signed for the apartment in Gold Coast. Just need to tell Celeste after Christmas. He's planning to leave me. After the holidays. How thoughtful. My hands are shaking now, not from sadness, but from focus. Because if Adrian thinks he's walking out of this marriage clean, he's about to learn what happens when you betray a woman who plans perfection for a living. And the best part? He won't even see it coming. Studio microphone. If you think this airport scene was bad, wait until you hear what I did next. Hit follow, because chapter 2 is where the real game begins. Studio microphone. They say revenge is a dish best served cold. But I don't serve dishes, I serve experiences. And this one? It's going to be unforgettable. Make sure you follow, because the game is only just beginning. Wednesday morning. 6:03 a.m. For 3 blissful seconds, I forget. I wake up thinking about my to-do list, my morning jog, my client meeting at 10. Then it hits me like a freight train. Adrian. Talia. The airport. The kiss. The man who promised me forever was planning to replace me like last year's model of a car. I don't cry. Not anymore. I already burned through shock last night. What's left is purpose. I make my coffee extra strong and open my laptop at the kitchen counter. The house feels empty, but that's okay. I need silence. 3 attorneys have already replied to my late-night messages. All top tier. All intrigued by the words evidence of adultery and financial misconduct. I scheduled 2 consultations for Thursday, and 1 for Friday. Friday's with Veronica Steele, Chicago's most ruthless divorce lawyer. She's known for her line, if he lied, I'll make him pay for it. Perfect. I send the confirmations, then text Adrian. Short. Polite. Normal. Me, sorry, fell asleep early last night. Expo went great. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Adrian, no worries, babe. Can't wait to have you home. Love you. Love you. The irony burns hotter than my coffee. By 8 o'clock, I'm in my office downtown. I run Monroe events out of a sleek space on Wacker Drive, floor-to-ceiling windows, white orchids, polished marble desks. Usually, this room fills me with pride. Today, it feels like a war room. I open a new file labeled Operation Phoenix. Because that's what this is, rebirth from ashes. Mine. Not his. I spend hours cross-referencing transactions, sorting through our joint accounts, emails, even insurance records. Every detail matters. I print receipts. Highlight patterns. Note dates. Every steak dinner. Every hotel stay. Every jewelry charge. By noon, I have a binder thicker than our wedding album. And I'm not done. Adrian's practice, Monroe Orthopedics, has an employee benefits portal. I still have access. He never revoked my credentials, probably never thought he'd need to. A few clicks later, I'm staring at his business expense reports. Meals labeled client dinner. Travel labeled conference. But the destinations match the hotels I already found, same dates, same charges. He's been claiming tax deductions for his affair. Fantastic. Judges love that kind of thing. Around 1, I drive home for lunch. Our neighborhood, Lakeview Estates, looks postcard perfect, tall trees, clean sidewalks, manicured lawns. It's the kind of place where everyone waves, pretending their lives are perfect. Mine was supposed to be. As I walk in, I catch my reflection in the mirror by the door. Eyes tired, hair messy, but still standing tall. Still Celeste Monroe. I grab my planner, flip to December. Notes everywhere, holiday parties, charity fundraisers, Adrian's hospital gala. All events I coordinate. And suddenly, I see opportunity. If Adrian wants to play games, he picked the wrong opponent. He's been living a double life in my city, with my connections, using my reputation to cover his lies. I know every florist, every caterer, every hotel manager in Chicago. He thinks his secret's safe? Not for long. Thursday morning. 9 a.m. First consultation, James Porter, downtown. Sleek office, expensive pen, $600 shoes. He greets me with a professional smile that falters when I slide the binder across his desk. Mrs. Monroe, he says, flipping through the pages, this is remarkably organized. I'm an event planner, I reply. Details are my love language. He chuckles softly. Your husband doesn't have a case. Adultery is fault-based in Illinois. Using joint funds to finance an affair? That's dissipation of marital assets. You'll get more than half, possibly alimony. I nod, calm but electric inside. I don't just want fair. I want final. He leans back. Then gather everything. Assets, tax returns, any communications proving intent to leave. You'll want to freeze joint accounts before he drains them. We discuss strategy, timelines, options. Then, before I leave, he says quietly, whatever you do, don't let him know you know. Yet. I smile. Trust me. I'm a professional at pretending everything's perfect. By afternoon, I'm at my second consultation, Linda Ward, older, sharp as a blade. She doesn't waste time. Celeste, she says, flipping through the binder faster than I can blink, you've already done half my job. But I have one question. Shoot. Do you want to hurt him, or do you want to win? I pause. The silence stretches. Both, I say finally. But I'll settle for winning if it hurts. Linda smiles like a shark. Then you'll love my approach. We talk numbers. Strategies. Emotional manipulation in settlement meetings. She even suggests hiring a forensic accountant to trace Adrian's business spending. Before I leave, she says, when men cheat, they expect tears. You showing up calm? That's what terrifies them. I nod. Because she's right. The calmer I am, the more powerful I feel. That night, Adrian calls. Hey, babe, he says, voice cheerful. Just got out of surgery. Long day. How's New York? Busy, I say smoothly. Back-to-back meetings. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. I'll pick you up from the airport? I almost laugh. Sure. I'll text you when I land. Love you. Love you too, I say, letting the words taste like ash. The moment I hang up, I whisper, not for long. Friday. The meeting that matters most. Veronica Steele's office sits on the 40th floor, overlooking Lake Michigan. The kind of view that screams power. She greets me with a firm handshake. No small talk. Mrs. Monroe, I read your summary. You came prepared. I slide the binder across her desk. Prepared is my default setting. She flips through it, photo evidence, credit card statements, texts. After 5 minutes, she looks up, eyes gleaming. In 25 years of practicing family law, I've never seen a case so airtight on day one. So I have a strong case? She nods. Stronger than he can handle. If we file fault-based for adultery and dissipation, you'll walk away with at least 60% of the assets. Maybe more. My heart thumps. What's the next step? Serve him when he least expects it. Somewhere public, but meaningful. Something poetic. Poetic. The word sticks. And suddenly, I know exactly where, and when, I want Adrian to be served. The hospital's annual charity gala. The one I planned. The one where he is the guest of honor. A slow smile spreads across my face. Veronica, I say softly, I think I just found the perfect stage. Studio microphone, but trust me, what happens at that gala will make every scandal you've heard look like child's play. Stay tuned, because chapter 3 is where the fireworks begin. Studio microphone. If you've ever wondered what revenge looks like in heels, champagne glass in hand, stay right here. Because this is the night I turned my heartbreak into a standing ovation. The hospital's annual charity gala. Friday, December 6th. Venue, the Langston Hotel Grand Ballroom, downtown Chicago. And guess who planned it? Me. Celeste Monroe. Every crystal centerpiece, every floral arrangement, every linen fold, it's my signature. Every detail screams elegance and control. It's funny, really. For years, I made sure this gala ran flawlessly so Adrian could shine. His department always got the spotlight. But this year, I'm making sure the spotlight hits something else. It's been 3 weeks since the airport incident. 3 weeks of quiet preparation while pretending to be the doting wife. Adrian never suspected a thing. He still texts me daily. Still kisses me goodnight. Still says love you before heading to conferences. Meanwhile, I've met with Veronica Steele 5 times. We filed every document, secured every piece of evidence, frozen our joint accounts, and traced every penny of his affair. Now, all that's left is delivery. The gala starts at 7 p.m. I arrive at 6:30, clipboard in hand, wearing a black gown that whispers power. Hair up, makeup sharp, smile practiced. Guests start arriving, surgeons, hospital board members, donors in tuxedos. Cameras flash. Wine flows. Adrian walks in around 7:20. He looks smug. Confident. The perfect husband. He kisses my cheek in front of everyone. Beautiful as always, he whispers. I smile back. You too, darling. If only he knew. And then she arrives. Talia Brooks. She's wearing a silver gown that probably costs more than her rent, hair cascading in soft waves. I almost applaud her audacity, walking into my event like she belongs here. but the best part? She doesn't see me at first. She goes straight to Adrian, touching his arm lightly. He flinches just enough to show guilt, then covers it with a charming smile. The coward. I step forward, perfectly calm. Talia. I'm so glad you could make it. Adrian mentioned you were helping with the new orthopedic supplies deal. Her smile falters for half a second. Oh, yes. Yes, it's been great working with Dr. Monroe. Wonderful. I tilt my head. Let's make sure you're seated near the front. You deserve to see the show. Her brows knit together, confused. I smile wider. The kind of smile that says you'll find out soon enough. By 8:15, the ballroom is full. The lights dim. The MC announces the evening's agenda. Dinner, live auction, speeches, award presentations. And right before dessert, Adrian's moment. He's receiving the Humanitarian of the Year award. Oh, the irony. As he takes the stage, applause fills the room. He smiles, practiced, polished, proud. He starts his speech. Thank you all for being here tonight. It's truly an honor. I barely hear him. Because my pulse is pounding, steady and certain. Everything, in place. On cue, I glance toward the back of the room where Veronica Steele's assistant stands, an envelope in hand. The divorce papers. Inside are the charges of adultery, financial fraud, and dissipation of marital assets, all backed by 67 pages of evidence. And right beside the assistant stands the gala photographer, ready. Timing is everything. Adrian finishes his speech to a wave of applause. The MC hands him the award plaque. He smiles, bows slightly. Then the ballroom doors open. And in walks the assistant, heels clicking on marble, walking straight up the center aisle. Every eye follows her. Even Adrian's. She stops at the stage, looks up at him, and says loud enough for the mic to catch. Dr. Adrian Monroe, you've been served. Silence. The kind of silence that sucks the air out of a room. Then, click. The photographer snaps a picture of his shocked face. The entire crowd turns, whispering, gasping. Talia's eyes go wide. She grabs her clutch like it's a life raft. Adrian stammers, What is this? I rise from my seat, slow and deliberate. Oh, darling, I say, voice steady through the microphone that's still live. Consider it, your reckoning. A ripple moves through the crowd, half shock, half awe. The MC fumbles. Perhaps we should, take a brief break. But I'm not done. Before we do, I continue, I'd just like to say a few words. For 14 years, I've had the privilege of planning this gala. I've watched it grow, watched it shine. And tonight, I want to dedicate this event to truth, because sometimes, truth hides behind perfect smiles. My voice doesn't shake once. Adrian's does. Celeste, stop. Don't worry, I say softly. It's over. He steps toward me, panic flashing in his eyes. You're making a scene. I smile. No, Adrian. You made a scene 3 weeks ago at O'Hare Airport. I'm just giving it better lighting. Gasps ripple through the crowd again. Adrian's face goes white. Talia looks ready to faint. I hand my microphone to the MC, smooth my gown, and walk off stage. The assistant follows, handing me the signed copy of the papers. Delivery confirmed, she whispers. I take the envelope, tuck it into my clutch, and step out onto the terrace overlooking the city. The cold air hits my skin, sharp and clean. Inside, chaos brews. Through the glass, I see Adrian trying to salvage his reputation. Board members whispering. Reporters texting. Cameras flashing. And for the first time in months, I breathe freely. Because this isn't sadness. This is power. Studio microphone, you'd think that was the end, right? That after serving him in front of half of Chicago, I'd walk away satisfied. But what happened after that night changed everything. Because my revenge? It was just getting started. Studio microphone. Stay tuned. Chapter 4 will show you how far a betrayed woman will go when she stops playing nice. Studio microphone. They tell you revenge will make you feel better. That once the dust settles, you'll finally sleep. But what they don't tell you is, the silence after the storm can be louder than the thunder itself. The next morning, my phone doesn't stop ringing. By 8 a.m., the story's already hit 2 local outlets. Dr. Adrienne Monroe served divorce papers at charity gala. By noon, it's trending on social media. The hospital PR department releases a statement calling it a personal matter, but it's too late. Chicago loves scandal more than it loves sports. Talia deletes her Instagram. Adrienne's office goes quiet. And me? I make waffles. Because after 14 years of putting him first, I finally get to put syrup on my breakfast without guilt. I sit at the kitchen island in my robe, fork in hand, scrolling through the chaos I created. There's a strange peace in it. A calm I didn't expect. Until there's a knock on the door. I open it to find Adrienne standing there, no suit, no smile, just a storm behind his eyes. Celeste, he says, voice shaking. Can we talk? I sip my coffee. About what? The gala? The part where you got publicly humiliated? Or the part where you lied to me for a year? He exhales sharply. You didn't have to do that. You could have handled it privately. I laugh, an actual laugh. Privately? Like your airport affair? Like the hotel charges labeled conferences? You're lucky I didn't rent a billboard. He steps closer, desperation creeping in. You've ruined my reputation. And you ruined our marriage, I say evenly. Seems fair. He rubs his face, muttering something under his breath. Then, quietly, you don't know everything. That catches me off guard. Excuse me? He looks up, eyes raw. Talia, she's not who you think she is. Oh, let me guess, I snap. She's your therapist? Your long-lost cousin? Spare me, Adrienne. But he shakes his head. She blackmailed me, Celeste. For a second, I forget to breathe. What? He nods slowly. It started as flirting, yes. I messed up. But when I tried to end it, she threatened to expose me, to the hospital board, to investors. Said she had proof I'd falsified travel reimbursements. She made me keep seeing her. My stomach twists. And you expect me to believe that? He pulls out his phone, scrolling through messages. He shows me a thread. Dozens of texts from Talia. You owe me. I can ruin you. Don't forget who's holding the receipts. The color drains from my face. She wasn't just his mistress, she was manipulating him for leverage. But why? Adrienne, I say carefully, what receipts is she talking about? He hesitates. Some hospital contracts. Pharmaceutical incentives. Bonuses that weren't exactly legal. My mind races. Are you saying she has evidence of corporate fraud? He nods once. Enough to destroy my license, and maybe implicate me in something I didn't do. I step back, gripping the counter. Because suddenly, this isn't just a divorce. It's a web, and I've just made it public. By evening, I'm in Veronica Steele's office again, documents spread across the table. She listens without interrupting, expression unreadable. Finally, she says, Celeste, this changes everything. How bad is it? If what he's saying is true, your husband's not just a cheater. He's part of a financial scandal that could involve the entire hospital board. I blink. So my revenge went from emotional to criminal? Possibly, she says. If his name gets dragged through a federal case, your assets could be frozen until investigations are done. We need to protect your money now. The words hit me like a slap. I planned everything, except this. Veronica starts drafting emergency paperwork to secure my accounts, my business, my properties. Then she leans forward. And Celeste, you might want to consider who else knew about these deals. Someone set him up. Someone? Yes. Maybe not Talia alone. I stare out the window at the dark Chicago skyline. For the first time since the betrayal, I feel something new. Not rage. Not triumph. Fear. The next day, I get a message from an unknown number. No name. No greeting. Just one sentence. You think you've won, but you're standing in the crossfire. Attached is a photo, me, leaving Veronica's office. Someone's watching me. My hands tremble as I lock my phone. Studio microphone. I wanted revenge. I wanted control. But now, I've stepped into something bigger than heartbreak. Someone's playing a game I didn't start, and this time, I might be the target. Studio microphone. Stay with me. Chapter 5 is where everything unravels. Secrets, danger, and one final twist you won't see coming. Studio microphone. Revenge was supposed to be simple. He hurt me, I'd hurt him back. But now I know, when you play with fire, sometimes you don't burn the liar, you burn the whole house down. It's been 3 days since the message. 3 days since someone sent me that photo outside Veronica Steele's office. I've stopped sleeping. Every sound feels suspicious. Every shadow looks like someone watching. My assistant at Monroe Events, Dana, keeps asking if I'm okay. I keep lying. Because how do you explain that your divorce revenge turned into a potential corporate crime thriller? Adrian's gone quiet, lawyers, investigators, hospital board meetings. Talia's vanished completely. Her apartment's empty. Phone disconnected. And me? I'm left in the middle, standing in the crossfire. Tuesday morning, I get a call from Veronica. Celeste, we need to meet. Now. Bring your laptop, and don't come alone. I feel my pulse quicken. What's going on? She pauses. It's about Talia. An hour later, I'm sitting in her office, watching Veronica pull up a folder labeled Brooks Investigation. She didn't work for any pharmaceutical company, Veronica says flatly. Her resume was fabricated. Everything, references, employment records, even her ID, is fake. I stare at her. So who is she? Veronica clicks open a background report. Talia's real name flashes on the screen, Natalie Brooks Carter. And below that, her previous employer, Monroe Orthopedics PR division. My blood runs cold. Wait. She worked for Adrian's hospital group? Not just worked, Veronica says. She was fired 2 years ago. For embezzlement. I blink, trying to process. So she had a grudge. Exactly. She targeted your husband. And you, indirectly. The affair, the blackmail, it was part of a setup. She's been collecting evidence to take the entire hospital down. I feel dizzy. And I just broadcasted the whole thing at the gala. Veronica nods grimly. Which means whoever's behind her plan now knows you're involved. And they're not happy. That night, I drive home through freezing rain, my mind racing. Who sent that text? Was it Talia, or whoever she's working for? When I pull into the driveway, I notice it immediately. The porch lights off. And the front door, slightly open. My chest tightens. I grab my phone, whisper, 911, and step inside slowly. The living room light flickers. Paper scattered. My laptop gone. Then a voice from the kitchen. Close the door, Celeste. I freeze. Talia, no, Natalie, steps out of the shadows, gun in hand, rain dripping from her hair. Relax, she says. I'm not here to hurt you. Could have fooled me. She laughs bitterly. You ruined everything, you know that? Your little public stunt at the gala, now the feds are on my trail. I keep my voice steady. Why target Adrian? She smirks. Because he was easy. Greedy. Arrogant. He and the board have been taking under-the-table bonuses from drug companies for years. I just wanted proof, then I'd leak it and disappear. But your revenge video made it viral before I could control it. So you used him, I whisper. And you used me, she snaps back. You think your power play didn't have consequences? You exposed us both. For a moment, neither of us speaks. Then distant sirens wail. Her eyes flick toward the window. They're here for me. Put the gun down, Natalie. She looks almost sad. You don't get it, Celeste. You think you won. But you just lit a match in a room full of gasoline. She drops the gun to the floor and runs out the back door just as police lights flash outside. Hours later, I sit in the station giving my statement. They find Natalie's car abandoned near the river. Inside, files, contracts, and a flash drive labeled Monroe board payments. Detectives tell me she was about to leak it to the press. And with that evidence, an investigation begins. By morning, news breaks again. Federal probe launched into Monroe Orthopedics for bribery and fraud. Adrian's medical license suspended. Board members indicted. And me? I'm cleared of all involvement, but my name's everywhere. Celeste Monroe, the woman who exposed Chicago's biggest hospital scandal by accident. A week later, I'm back at my apartment, packing the last box. Divorce finalized. Assets secured. Adrian's gone from my life, professionally, personally, permanently. I stand by the window, city lights glowing below. And for the first time I feel something new. Not revenge. Not triumph. Peace. My phone buzzes. Unknown number. Nice work, Mrs. Monroe. The game needed someone to reset the board. I stare at the message, confused. Attached, a single photo. Talia, or Natalie, standing in an airport terminal. Smiling. Alive. Studio microphone. I thought I'd ended the story that night at the gala. But the truth? Some stories don't end, they evolve. Maybe that's what survival is, learning to stop chasing revenge, and start owning your power. Studio microphone. My name is Celeste Monroe. And I don't just rebuild events anymore, I rebuild lives. Starting with my own. Studio microphone. If you stayed till the end, remember, every betrayal is a beginning in disguise. Follow for more stories like this one.